Hello, everybody. Welcome to Browns and Beyond, your home for Cleveland Browns content, NFL content, and other sports content. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you stay locked in with all the latest sports content. All right, boys, welcome to the Extravaganza here today. This is part one. We're going to get into some AFC team predictions or division predictions in the AFC East, North, South, and West divisions and go through all the teams, their predictions, and conclusions for the upcoming season. Before we do that, Steve and Dave, how's your weekend going so far?
Well, Brian, I had a great weekend. I got to go to a high school football game.
Oh, do tell, Steve.
We had an alumni game at Cog Falls High School. They played Akron North. We won 33-12. I got to see a lot of former players. I got to go on the field and experience. I wanted to get my three-point stance. I was so pumped up. Got to see my old coaches, old cheerleaders, old fans.
They're still alive. Some of those guys.
we got the most from the 60s and 70s, but I represented the 90s.
They kept the walkers at the gate, though.
These guys were still in good shape, man.
Okay.
For being football players, I was surprised myself.
There you go.
Oh, it was a blast, guys. I had a lot of fun.
Nice.
Glad to hear it. Dave, how's your weekend going?
Really good. Weather was a little bit chilly. I just got to say, I'm really excited about this podcast. Excited to talk about previewing and a lot of these teams in the NFL, and I'm just really excited to get into it.
All right. Well, let's get started here, guys. This is the Extravaganza. This is going to be a three-part show where we kind of get into our predictions. In episode 2 or part 2, we will get into the NFC predictions and conclusions, and then we will wrap things up with a part 3 that will get into some final season awards, and we will get into the MVP, playoff picks, AFC and NFC championship predictions, and the Super Bowl prediction as well. So we'll be getting into that as well. So we're going to go and get started with the AFC, and we will go with the East division there. As Steve, you can go ahead and give us your predictions and conclusions for the AFC East.
Okay, Brent, and we go 4-1 on this. So
yep.
I'm going to start in last place. I got the New York Jets. This team, they'll be about as bad as or worse than they were last year. They hired Aaron Glenn as a new coach. He was a player for them for the Jets years ago.
I remember him. I'm that old.
Yeah. He was pretty good.
Yeah.
I remember he had like a record breaker football card I used to collect and things like that.
Solid corner in his day, yeah.
Yeah, he was solid. So he's a defensive-minded coach. Just as Robert Saleh was, who got fired last year. He came from... he was the defensive coordinator of the Lions, so you see the Lions lost their guys.
Yeah.
Justin Fields is the starter at quarterback, and remember, Brent, I really liked Fields when he was in Chicago. He's suspect now. You know what I mean? I just don't believe in him like I did, a couple of years ago. He is your starter. And Tyrod Taylor's backing him up. We're familiar with him as a former Brown.
Unfortunately,
I like him for Buffalo. I mean, he's been a journeyman. He's a solid backup. He's not terrible. I mean, I wouldn't put him at the top.
Okay.
He's about average per se.
On a good day,
older. He's getting older.
Yeah, that's right.
Breece Hall. He's a really good running back. They're going to be running game strong. I mean, that's what I think. They're going to have to hand it off. Fields will probably do some run pass. Options. You know what I mean? He'll be running the ball too. I think Fields and Breece Hall will be running. Garrett Wilson, he's an awesome receiver, guy out of Ohio State.
Yep.
He should have a big year if they can get the ball to him. I mean, again, they're going to run first. That's just how it goes. I'm not impressed with the quarterback or the coach. The defense is strong. They're led by Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner, one of the best corners in the whole NFL. It's a transition year for the Jets, guys. They are the run-first team, like I was mentioning. Wilson is the main target to throw to. They won 5 games last year. I got them going 4-13, guys.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Okay.
All right, Steve, give us your next team.
Okay. To finish third in the division, I got the Miami Dolphins. Okay. Mike McDaniel. I feel like he seemed to regress he's an offensive-minded guru, but he's regressed. I think he could be on the hot seat. Tua seems to be getting injured. Concussions are a problem. Zach Wilson is his backup. That doesn't really scare me very much. You know what I mean?
Look out, ladies.
If you're an older woman, you got to watch.
Yeah, that's right.
They'll scoop you up, and especially if you're a mother and you have a friend,
there you go.
You know, you might have a crisis ahead of you there.
Could be tough on South Beach. Yes.
I know. Likes girls with walkers. That's what I've been told. Okay. All right, continue. Sorry.
Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they're solid at receivers, so the pass game could be strong. On defense with them, Vic Fangio, he left to take the Eagles job. I guess Fangio, has family connections in Philadelphia. He wanted to leave and take that job. I think this defense is in for some trouble. Now, they still do have Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips. They lead the way, and they got Minka Fitzpatrick in the Steelers trade with Jalen Ramsey. So the defense, they have a few good players, but I just don't think it's going to be great. So anyway, last year, 6 of their first 8 games are played against teams that missed the playoffs, so that could help them. At any rate, guys, I have them going 7-10 as third. Now I'm going to get to my second in the division to finish. I have the New England Patriots.
There we go. Got a good coach out here, Steve.
My boy Mike Vrabel. This was the best coach signing a team could make here in 25. I wanted the Browns to sign him, but they decided to stick with Stefanski. I think we knew that Vrabel was going there. Josh McDaniels, that's a genius hire at OC. He had so much, he was awesome with Bill Belichick as an offensive coordinator for years, and Vrabel's going to bring that along too. They have one of the easiest schedules of the whole NFL this year. Quarterback Drake May is expected to have a big season. The offensive line has improved, and they drafted a lineman, so they're on the come up. Travion Henderson out of Ohio State, running back, expected to have a huge year.
Yep.
That Ramondre Stevenson, he could carry the ball a little bit. He's injury prone, but they could have 2 backs. Drake may have to run the ball sometimes, but not like he did last year.
Interesting to see how they divvy up those carries, Steve. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll see how they do that. Vrabel, as we all know, he's known for a tough, gritty defense. Many expect him to be a tough top 10 defense. I have them going 11-6.
Wow.
I know, is it? Yeah, that's some power there, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
With a much improved season, they were 4-13 last year with Gerard Mayo. I think it's a complete turnaround, guys. You're going to see, there's all these teams that win like 4 or 5 games, and then they can make the playoffs the following year with the right coaches and people around surrounding them. So yeah, that's where I got them there, guys.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to get to the division winner of the AFC East. I got the Buffalo Bills. No surprise there.
None.
I expect them to win their 6th consecutive division title. Josh Allen was MVP last season.
Allen's become the Brady of the division now, just dominating it.
He is.
Yeah.
Like Brady in New England.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
the way they ran it for years.
He's just a beast.
Yeah.
He should be ready for another big year. James Cooks is a solid running back.
Very underrated,
Yeah, he's underrated, I would say.
Yeah.
I expect big production out of Keon Coleman at receiver. They got Dalton Kincaid at tight end. So he's got some nice targets to throw to.
Yep.
The offensive linemen all returned, and that's a strength for them. The defense is solid. I like Greg Rozier, and they free agents. They signed Joey Bosa.
Yeah,
they should be nice, ends, to get to the quarterback. The schedule is favorable. It's in their favor this year, even though they went far in the playoffs. I have them going 13-4 and winning that division, guys.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Good job there, Steve. We'll go to Mr. Green Shield. Dave, give us your thoughts on the AFC East for this upcoming season.
Very nice rundown, Steve. I'm going to start with my 4th place team, and this is where me and Steve, we're going to have probably a fair amount of agreement here. I'm going to start with the New York Jets. I like the defensive talent. I like it at all 3 levels. I think Quentin Williams is one of the best interior defensive linemen in football. Jamie Sherwood and Quincy Williams at linebacker combined for 274 tackles. A solid combination there. Sauce Gardner, when on his game and healthy, is a top 5 corner in the NFL in my view. Offensively, I love Garrett Wilson. I love them coming out of Ohio State. I think he's Larry Fitzgerald. I think he's bad quarterback proof. I mean, it doesn't matter who his quarterback is, and he hasn't been blessed with great quarterback play. I think he's a top 10 to 12 receiver in all the NFL. And that's saying a lot. I like Breece Hall if he can stay healthy. If he stays healthy this year, I think that bodes well for this team. The major concerns are obvious. It's the quarterback position. I like Justin Fields coming out of Ohio State. I didn't love Justin Fields coming out of Ohio State. I always thought he would be a serviceable NFL quarterback. I never thought he'd be a great NFL quarterback. He hasn't been done any favors by his franchise. The Bears did him no favors, by the way, with coaching.
Defensive-minded coach.
Exactly.
Then they get right into it again. But if the Jets had the right quarterback,
yeah,
man,
sure,
they're playoff bound.
Well, that's why they put their hand on the Rodgers stove, to be fair. And then you're looking at journeyman Tyrod Taylor, not good. The second wide receiver spot is a concern for me as well. Alan Lazard, Josh Reynolds, kind of ugh. I look at this team, and I'll say this, just in conclusion. If Hall can stay healthy and have a nice year at running back, I think he can be right around a 1,200-yard back if you tell me he can play in at least 16 games. So they should have a decent running game. I like the defense at all three levels, but the passing game is just too much of a major concern. I've got them going 6-11. My third place team in this division, and this I agree with Steve. If we did a list of coaches on the high seat, Mike McDaniels would be there.
Yes.
There is some things to like about this team. I like the skill players. I like Waddle. I like the Hill combo, although their numbers were seriously down in 24 compared to 2023 when that team made the playoffs. It's still as lethal a combination, a 1-2 punch of a receiver in the NFL. I like A-Chain at running back. He showed really good potential his rookie year. Can he handle a heavier workload? It's going to be interesting. They've got pass rushers. I liked Bradley Chubb coming out of college. I wanted the Browns to draft him over Denzel Ward, actually.
Ooh, that's a statement to make there.
Well, I put a premium on pass rush, Steve. Just bottom line.
Then you could have played with Nick Chubb.
Well,
They're
Bradley
related.
Chubb and
They're
Nick
related.
Chubb. There you go. But if he can stay healthy, he's a good pass rusher. Chop Robinson, solid player. Zach Seiler, 10-plus sacks the last 2 years, has been really good on that defense. The concerns here are obvious. Can Tua ever stay healthy? I mean,
no,
that's
he
pretty
can't.
much.
No,
yeah.
he can't.
I mean,
no.
He'd be a top 10 quarterback if he could.
And this would be a playoff team if he stayed healthy. You saw in 23 when he stayed healthy, they made the playoffs. That's, and he only had that one full season in 23. The secondary had off-season losses. Ramsey, Kendall, Fuller. They have some questions. The offensive line, they did draft, in the second round, and they brought in free agent James Daniels at guard. Will that group improve? Those are also my two major areas of concern. My conclusion, Tua's health is too much of a concern for me to see that he plays in 17 games. Plus, I have questions about the offensive line and secondary. This team is going 7-10, and Mike McDaniels may be out of a job. My second place team, in the division is the New England Patriots. I like Mike Vrabel. Nobody likes Mike Vrabel as much as Steve Ratzer does. Let's just be real here.
Come on,
baked
Dave.
beans.
Family reunions.
Family reunion.
We have baked beans.
Hey,
guys.
would he get a discount at Retro's Laconis here? He might, Brent. I don't know.
Cheap, 5%.
I might have to give him a free meal.
If it's Vrabel, it's free or
at least
50%.
His mom talked
Oh
with
my
my
God.
mother, principal.
Oh,
she was the
please.
principal in the
Jeez.
Elliott District.
Keep the sharp
And my mom was
objects.
a
Let me
teacher.
guess, your mom and his mom played bingo together, and you're going to tell me about that for like 30 minutes. Oh, my God.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, keep going.
Well, I like the quarterback position. Me and Steve are in agreement on Drake May. Next to Jaden Daniels, he was the second best quarterback in that draft class. I really liked him. And he showed some improvement towards the end of the season. I think there's some really good talent on defense. Barmore's a very good player. They acquired Milton Williams from Philadelphia, who in rotation last year had 5 sacks. That could be a 1-2 pass rush combination. Travion Henderson I really like. I don't know if he can handle a heavy workload. That's why I was saying to Steve earlier, how do they share carries between him and Stevenson? But he's explosive. He can catch it, he can run it, and he's a big play guy at running back. I do have concerns. Will Campbell's a good player, but they started 12 different offensive linemen last year, and that's my concern. I like May, but I'm still kind of questioning the talent around May. And I'm also questioning the wide receiver position. I'm back to the Tom Brady years. Give the guy some wide receivers at the end. Stephon Diggs, I don't know. Will he ever get back to his 100-plus catch season
I
level?
like Diggs if he can stay healthy.
Well, but he looked washed maybe last year in Houston. I don't know. He might be more...
I didn't even know if he was on that roster, it felt like, you know?
Plus, I mean, the rest of the group, DeMario Douglas, Kyle Williams, does that inspire much confidence? Not in me, it doesn't. I mean, the conclusion here is this. I like the growth of May that he showed last year. Still a question about the talent around him, as I put it. Line and wide receiver. I think Henderson has a really good rookie year. I think the defense will be pretty good. What Vrabel and this team needs is one more good offseason, Steve, before I think they make the jump.
Me too. I agree.
They need one more good offseason.
They're going to be hovering around 500.
They're going to need one more good draft in free agency to get this roster where he needs to. I'm going 8-9.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was hovering around 500.
Yeah, 11 is too much, Steve. I can't quite.
11 is.
Dave, they have an easy schedule.
That's a big.
Go game by game.
That's a pump my brakes. And I like May and I like Vrabel. He needs that you need to build a little bit more around his quarterback. I like Trey Henderson. I just don't know about receivers in line.
Yeah.
First place team, it's obvious. It's the Buffalo Bills. They're running this division.
Yep.
Much like the Patriots used to. I love Mr. MVP Josh Allen. We know about the Chiefs situation. Michael Jordan. It's like the '90s Cavs or the Knicks or whatever. He can't get past.
Can't get over the hump.
Can't get past MJ.
Just can't beat them.
They're very good on the O-line. According to our buddies over at PFF, they have a top 5 offensive line going into 25. A very undervalued James Cook, who had 18 total touchdowns last year. By the way, fantasy owners, look out for him. He'd be a really good back in fantasy. With you, Steve, I expect Keon Coleman to give them an extra wide receiver. I thought he would have had a slightly bigger impact than last year. He only had like 29 catches. I think he'll make a jump in year number 2. The whole key to this team is the improvement of the defense. The 17th ranked overall defense last year will not get it done. You can see, can they get that stop on Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, or Joe Burrow, or Lamar Jackson in the playoffs? Can they generate that pass rush when they need it is really going to be the key. Joey Bosa's not getting any younger. I have to say this. The last time he had double digits in sacks was 2021. They drafted T.J. Sanders and Landon Jackson on the D-line. They need to get more of a pass rush to improve what was a 24 ranked pass defense, and that's going to be key in the playoffs, especially when they face those better quarterbacks. Bottom line, the conclusion is simple here, guys. When you start with the MVP, it's always a good place to start. Plus, the talent around him, I think, is better than people give it credit for. I think the receivers are going to step up. Cook has a really good year. He has a really good offensive line around him. I just don't know if that defense can make that next step to get this team into the Super Bowl, and that's what it's going to take. That being said, they're going to go 12-5 and win the division.
Yep. Well said, Dave. All right, we're going to get into the AFC North. And Steve, go ahead and give us your predictions and conclusions for the AFC North.
All right, Brent, going 4-1 here. In last place, I hate to say it, we're a Browns podcast.
Yeah, what's Browns and Beyond?
The Browns and Beyond. I hate to tell you guys, but I got to be realistic.
Yeah.
I got the Browns in last place.
Yes.
I'm excited that Joe Flacco is your starter.
Yeah.
He has quite the connection with Stefanski. Remember in 23, he won a bunch of games and they made the playoffs. But let me tell you this, in the first 6 games of the schedule, it is brutal.
Brutal.
It is bad.
Yeah.
So I hope Flacco stays healthy. I do think, just as we see every year, I think the Browns, I could see Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders both getting the shot this season, since quarterbacks seem to get hurt after, year after year for the Browns.
Yes.
I'm hoping that we'll see Quinshon Judkins sooner than later, with that domestic violence charge.
Yes, he's going to be key.
We have to rely on him.
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy will once again be a big target, and I like the dual tight end sets. We're going to see with David Njoku and Harold Fana Jr.
Yes.
That's favorable for the Browns. Fana Jr. caught a touchdown pass from Flacco in the preseason. That looked huge, and we already know he could throw to Njoku.
Right.
Jim Schwartz will be able to lead the defense as the coordinator. We hope to reform back to that number 1 defense at 23, as we know that was led by Myles Garrett.
A little bit of a mirage that year, according to some people, I hear. Wasn't that right, Brent?
Yeah. That's...
That mirage did get exposed, though, to be fair.
Yeah, so I think the defense will play for Joe Flacco. I really do. They wouldn't play for that other guy.
Yeah.
I hate to even mention.
Yeah.
I'll just say it, Watson.
Yes,
they didn't want to play for him.
No.
I don't think the defense was
Bad
that
chemistry.
Yeah.
Guys, the defense wasn't as bad.
That Watson offense did that defense no favors.
I feel like they gave up. I mean, and then we had injuries, so there you go there. I have the Browns going 6-11, boys.
Okay.
So,
yeah, good prediction on that.
You know, the over/under's 5.5. They're
going to get
beat
above that. Yeah.
All right, guys. To finish in third place in the AFC North, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin. You guys, he seems to win every year after year. You know, obviously they acquired Aaron Rodgers. He looks to lead the way at quarterback, but 41, you know. See, I feel that Flacco is a better 40-year-old than Rodgers is a 41-year-old quarterback. And tearing your Achilles tendon,
he showed
that was
some
bad.
signs at the end of the year. He did
Yeah,
show some signs.
Yeah, he did show improvement.
Yeah.
The
some
Jets were
signs.
starting to win, but they didn't win many. They only won 5 last year.
Right.
So,
I think he's going to do good for the Steelers.
At
He will.
41, it could be a challenge, and he'll need the help of DK Metcalf, who they acquired from the Seattle Seahawks.
Yes, they did.
Jalen Warren, he's actually a solid running back, guys. They lost Najee Harris to the Chargers.
Yes.
But Jalen Warren is solid, guys. Trust me, he's better than you'd think. And they drafted Caleb Johnson. They always seem to draft good running backs, and they make it work in the Steelers system. And they were known as a run-first team. They got more into passing with Big Ben, but they have to revert back a little bit to that running game.
Sure.
And you'll see a lot of that. So that's a nice 1-2 punch for those guys there. The defense is completely loaded. You talk about an arsenal.
Yes.
This defense.
That's the strength. Yeah.
This is a 1-2-3 top defense. T.J. Watt. I mean, I hate the Steelers, but I mean he's awesome.
Yeah.
Cameron Hayward is back. Patrick Queen's good. Adding Jalen Ramsey in the trade with Minka Fitzpatrick, it gives them a tough defense to go against. I have them going 9-8, with the offense falling a little short. I mean, we'll see. Will Rodgers make it through the season?
Could be Will Howard time maybe eventually this year. I've heard that from some Steeler fans that I've spoken to.
But Will Howard is a possibility, Dave, and
Yeah.
that'd be exciting because that could be their future Big Ben, and you never know. And a lot of teams passed on him just like they did Ben.
Got us a natty.
Yeah, low H there, yeah.
All right, guys, to finish second in the AFC North, I got the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow is healthy, and he's ready to lead the team after missing the playoffs the last 2 seasons. Zach Taylor, the guy from Mars, as we would say, Brent,
He's just a guy. He's just a guy.
Let's put it like this. I think they're going to finish well this year.
Yeah.
Should they not, he would be a hot seat coach.
He should be a hot seat guy.
Because he's just, we don't know who he is. I mean, they have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. That's about as best as it gets for wide receivers, guys.
Right.
It doesn't get better than that. They can score at will, but the defense is another story. The defense is suspect. Now, on a good note for them, they did sign Trey Hendrickson to a 1-year deal, so that's going to help with the pass rush. And I think he led the league in sacks last year. So, but the defense is still a liability. I have them going 10-7 with many high-scoring games and close games, guys. To get to number 1, in my eyes, this is a no-brainer. And I don't like them, but I got the Baltimore Ravens. They should win their 3rd straight division title, fellas. Lamar Jackson, to me, he just seems to get better and better. I mean, analysts are saying that he's almost as good or better than Joe Burrow. They're starting to argue that. A couple of years ago, I wouldn't say that Jackson was even close. I feel like he's really...
2 MVPs, though, Steve. He's got 2 MVPs.
That is right, Dave.
Yeah,
So he does have those MVP awards.
Some would say he deserved it last year over Josh Allen. There was a legit debate last year. I don't know where you guys came down on that. Do you think he deserved it over?
No.
No.
They didn't win enough.
Okay.
I think
numbers were good though.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't good.
Did deserve it.
All right.
I think he did deserve it over Allen.
Okay.
Really?
I think they like to change it up. Give someone else a chance at the award. He's already won 2.
Yeah.
As we know, Derrick Henry hasn't lost a beat at running back. I mean,
love you some Derrick Henry, Steve.
This guy is just a freak of nature.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's a beast.
What is he, 31? And he looks like he's running like a 25-year-old. You know, I mean, he is just awesome. Zay Flowers expected to have a big year.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, they don't have a lot of depth at receiver, however, so that could be the only thing hurting them. Mark Andrews, he's solid,
yes,
but he just can't catch the ball or hold on to the ball.
That playoff game, dude, that was tough. That was tough.
Like man, he's got to be the guy because he always has been in a regular season. I mean, he's had a great career.
You got to make those plays.
He's an excellent tight end, but you're right, Dave. He's got to make those. I mean, I can't believe it. This defense, they should be good once again. They're led by Roquan Smith and Kyle Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, those are two of the best defenders, for them. I have the Ravens going 13-4.
Wow. And
a Super Bowl contender once again, as expected every year.
All right. Well said, Dave. We'll get into the AFC North. Give us some the season preview.
Well, I hate to say it too. I'm going to start with the team that is in our name here, the Cleveland Browns. What I like about this team, and there's some things to like about this overall roster. It's not the roster that it once was, but let's be honest. Let's start with the best defensive end. The case can be made the best defensive player in football, Myles Garrett. It's always a good place to start. The Browns moved heaven and earth to keep him and gave him a lot of money. So he's still a Cleveland Brown. I do think the addition of Mason Graham's going to help along the defensive line, give him a solid interior. We'll see if he gets his running back, Mr. Mike Hall, as the season moves along. I still feel Denzel Ward as a top 5 corner in the NFL. I also think Grant Delpit's been really underrated the last couple years and has developed into a really good cover safety. I think I agree with Steve. I think they could have a really good 1-2 punch at tight end with Njoku and Harold Fannin. I think the big thing with the Browns this year is the rookies. Can the rookies like Schlesinger, possibly Judkins, Fannin, Mason Graham, can those 4 guys solidify the future of this organization? This is kind of, as a friend of mine said, an R&D year maybe for the Browns. And I think some of those younger players need to develop and show that they can be reliable starters for the future. If that happens, no matter how many games they win, I think that would be a net positive going forward for Browns fans. The concerns are obvious. You're starting a quarterback over 40 years old. You got 2 rookie quarterbacks who I still believe we don't know enough about. I know we watched the preseason, but it was just the preseason. An offensive line with 4 starters over the age of 30. When you look at Conklin, Teller, they've had health issues. They don't have a legitimate number 2 at wide receiver. Steve loves him some Cedric Tillman, but I'm not there.
You're not sold on Cedric?
I know Jamari Thrash had a nice preseason, but I'm not there either as well. We're not sure about the availability of Mr. Judkins, and that's also a huge concern.
Might even go back to college.
Well, I've heard
there's a loophole.
We'll see if that happens. Because they haven't gotten the contract done.
Absolutely.
And, got NIL.
And he's got NIL, and NIL might pay the bills while he's waiting.
And this team needs to. Let's just be honest. For the Stefanski offense to work, Steve, you need a running game.
You do.
Absolutely. And the bottom line in my conclusion with this team is, I can tell you this: if you could tell me that the quarterback's not going to make mistakes, if you could tell me that Judkins is going to be your starting running back for 15 to 16 games, and the offensive line's going to stay healthy, there would be a path to about 8 wins, I think, for this team at its highest end.
That's fair.
Would that be fair? If now they would have to hit the trifecta of that.
Yeah,
which is
maybe even more.
Maybe even,
but not much more.
Maybe even 9.
10 would be a stretch.
But at least 8 wins.
But their running game's huge in that regard.
But
I agree.
all those things would have to fall into place. Yeah. That all being said, I don't believe all those things are going to fall into place.
They're not going to fall into place.
They're going to go 6-11.
Yeah, good call on the prediction.
On 4th in the division. I was close to 5-12, by the way, guys.
Yeah,
I was in between.
I could go either way.
I could go either way on that. The 3rd place team in this division is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to start with what I really like, which is arguably the best front 7 in football. I think the Eagles, there's a few other teams in that running. But when you look at Hayward, you look at Highsmith, you look at Queen, you look at Mr. Watt. I mean, it's ridiculous. I think it's going to be one of the best defense in the NFL because I think they've got an improved secondary with Slay and with Ramsey. They could have actually 3 solid corners in Slay, Ramsey, and Porter Jr. I do believe DK Metcalf is a clear upgrade over Pickens as the number 1 wide receiver. Steeler fan Mark at the bar says that Chandler,
Cohort.
Yeah, cohort, contributor to Browns and Beyond.
Yes, he is.
It says he's a clear upgrade over the departed Najee Harris. So it's going to be interesting to see what impact he can have with the run game. Concerns, let's be honest, Aaron Rodgers ain't getting any younger. I think he's looking to his future efforts, smoking cannabis on an island somewhere, by the way.
Psychedelics, maybe?
Psychedelics, maybe, yeah. It might be time for Mr. Will Howard.
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
It might be time for Mr. Will Howard before the end of the season. We'll have to see. Can he stay healthy? And, there's legit questions about the O-line. They've invested in it in the past. Broderick Jones at tackle had some serious struggles last year. He's tackle's important in protecting, particularly an older quarterback. A sub-60 PFF overall grade at tackle wasn't good. Second-year tackle played just one game last season before suffering a season-ending knee injury. They have questions at the number 2 wide receiver. I've heard good things about Roman Wilson. Scotty Miller, can they fill the bill? We'll have to wait and see. My conclusion is an aged quarterback with some offensive questions, particularly on the offensive line and second receiver. They need to protect those brittle bones to keep them upright. It's going to be interesting to see if the run game has improved as well. I'm going to say Mike Tomlin has his first losing season at 8-9.
Wow.
I know.
That's a
big
bold
prediction.
statement
I went there. It's a lack of confidence in Rodgers' health, the line. There's too many offensive questions, and I love this defense, by the way. I'm going to get to my second place team, and it's the Cincinnati Bengals. This team has the lottery ticket. You know what? Joe Burrow is one of my man crushes. Steve has his man crushes. Joe Burrow is up there.
It's Haley's comment.
He is. He's awesome. In my view, the second best QB in the NFL. He's led his team to the Super Bowl. The Chase Higgins combo, in my view, is the best 1-2 punch in football. Chase hit the trifecta last year. He led the league in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. He's awesome. I think Chase Brown's very underrated at running back. Combined 1,350 yards rushing and receiving last year. Lastly, the Trey Hendrickson saga is over. They signed him to a 1-year contract. In my opinion, he's one of the top 5 defensive ends in football. Led the league in sacks. The concern, it's obvious. Defense. In a word, the Bengals lost 4 games last year where they scored north of 30 points. The defense just failed them. They really lacked a pass rush outside of Hendrickson. Sam Hubbard is now retired. They will need Joseph Asai and his 5 sacks in 2024. Also, first-round draft pick Shamar Stewart to help. They just need a secondary pass rusher. I also think the secondary has some real questions. They let go of corner Mike Hilton. They have no more Jesse Bates, who I think was one of the best safeties in football. I like safety Dax Hill, who suffered a torn ACL early in the 2024 season. We'll see if new DC Al Golden from Notre Dame can improve this defense. If it's just a slight improvement, this team could really make a run if they get into the playoffs. I love the passing game. In conclusion, I love the wide receivers. I even like the tight end and the running back, as I mentioned earlier. Expect another monster year out of Burrow. If they can improve from 25th in points allowed, as I say, just make a little bit of a jump defensively, maybe get inside that top 20, maybe 17, 18 in that area, this could legitimately be a team that contends for the Super Bowl. That all being said, I've got them going 10-7. My first place team in this division is the team that I can make a case that probably after the Philadelphia Eagles might be the second most overall talented roster in football, and that's the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to start with Mr. 2-time MVP, Lamar Jackson. He finished second behind Josh Allen. We already litigated that debate just a second ago. That was interesting. I love ageless wonder Derrick Henry at running back. I mean, what can you say about a running back that's that 30-year-old barrier, Steve? 1,900 yards rushing and 16 touchdowns.
Wow.
It was
he
just
hasn't lost a beat. He's got the Fountain of Youth in his...
I mean, any other year with, Saquon Barkley being as amazing as he was last year, I mean, that type of season will go down in the history books. I really like Zay Flowers at wide receiver. He averaged right at 1,000 yards receiving his first 2 seasons. I have a good feeling, this defense is going to even be better. Kyle Hamilton's possibly the best safety in football. Malachi Starks, Jair Alexander, and Marlon Humphrey form one of the better secondaries in the NFL. I think this defense will even be better. It took a little bit of a step back from 23 to 24. I think you could get back close to that 2023 level. My concerns is they need an alpha at the edge rusher spot. As a unit, they ranked outside the top 20 in pressure rate and plus pass rush win rate, according to our friends at PFF. This team could also use that second wide receiver. That's the one thing also I would be nitpicky at. Not sure about Rashard Bateman. They brought in a washed DeAndre Hopkins, who I think has seen better days.
Yeah.
I would also add Mark Andrews' production, as Steve touched upon, dipped the last couple seasons. I still think he'll be a reliable outlet. Lamar still loves to go to him. So I think with Lamar and Henry, we'll continue to roll. They just need another receiver to step up. The defense, again, I still believe can be a top 10 unit, maybe even closer to top 5. This team needs to show it can get it done in the postseason. I think Lamar's been a little bit better his last couple playoff games, than he was his first few playoff games of his career. I got this team going 12-5 and winning the division.
All right, well said, Dave. We're going to move into the AFC South. Steve, give us your division preview on the AFC South.
All right, Brent. To finish in last place in the AFC South, I have the Tennessee Titans. They're cautiously optimistic as they're trying to develop young rookie quarterback Cam Ward. They have an improved offensive line. Tony Pollard can lead the way running the football. Calvin Ridley should be a nice target for Ward to get the ball to. I do like Coach Brian Callahan. He should improve as they played many close games last year. I have them going 5-12 for the year, guys, to be last place, unfortunately. Now, Colin Cowherd, he likes them. He said they're
you know what? I listened
team.
to an ESPN guy. I think it was Mike Tenenbaum was over at ESPN, was arguing with Stephen A. Smith. Get this, Steve. He picked the Tennessee Titans to win the division this year.
That's crazy.
I agree. I thought he was insane. I nearly fell out of my chair, and so did Stephen A. Smith. And I don't always agree with Stephen A. Smith.
I don't see guys like Colin Cowherd. I don't see where they have him doing so well.
I have to say this. Have you ever seen a number one quarterback talked about less than Cam Ward?
That's true, Dave.
I mean, you're the number one pick in the draft, and nobody, the Shador saga dominated this, whole thing this year.
Yeah.
So, good, Steve. My bad.
All right, guys. Now to get to third place in the division, I have the Colts. Now Daniel Jones beat out Anthony Richardson, which is pretty crazy in my book.
You still an AR guy, Steve?
I like Richardson. It looks like he won't be having watermelon at the family reunion this year, though.
Okay.
And Daniel Jones, he's a soft sucker, guys. I gotta say it. I'm not a Daniel Jones fan. I'm really not. If you're a quarterback and you can't work with Brian Dable, then you're not a starter in this league. Coming from the Giants. Jonathan Taylor, he's a solid running back. And Michael Pittman Jr. should be a nice target to throw to. The defense is actually pretty solid.
Yeah.
I liked them better with Flacco last season, however.
He did have a down year with them, though. He did not. Joe Flacco was not at his best with that team, though.
Yeah, he was down, but I like him better than what they have now in Jones and Richardson. However, they're not going to give up on Anthony Richardson. But they did choose Jones first. So at any rate, guys, I have them going 7-10 for the year. To pick second in the division, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, I think he's expected to play better with Coach Liam Cohen. I like Travis Etienne. I think he's a pretty solid running back.
He had a little bit of a down year last year, though. I mean, he had a much better... I think there were maybe some offensive line issues there.
Yeah. Brian Thomas Jr. and rookie Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
They're expected to get a lot of balls thrown their way, guys.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see if Hunter will play on defense, too. And it looks like... I thought Jacksonville was a solid defense. They were not so solid last year.
No, they were not.
So, I think... They may have to rely on Hunter a little bit, in certain packages on defense and see how he does, because I think he'll play a little bit. I don't think it's almost like telling your kids, tell them what you want to hear. he might get in there a little bit.
Do you know what's crazy about this franchise, I have to say, guys, is did you think the trajectory of this franchise was good after 2022? Like, they went 9-8, they won the division, they won a playoff game, they played the Chiefs tough. You're shaking your head no.
No, I've never believed in them.
Right?
They're a dysfunctional organization. The owner's got issues.
Okay.
They remind me of the Jets. No.
Okay.
They might have their hot spot for a minute, but they're going to cool off.
See, I think when they sent Urban back to TV and they brought in Doug Peterson, I thought they righted the ship a little bit and we're heading in the right
I
direction.
still think it's a bad culture.
Okay.
It kind of reminds me of the Browns a little bit with the culture. And the Browns are starting to fix that. But don't you agree, the culture?
Yeah, well, remember, they got off to a good start in 2023 and then choked away the division because, remember, it was the Browns could have been playing them in the wild card game.
Yeah, they choked
versus playing Houston.
Remember, I talked to Steve about that.
Yeah.
When that happened, I knew we were going to be in trouble because I didn't want to face Houston.
Right.
I wanted to avoid them.
The bottom line, you probably want to face Lawrence instead of Stroud.
Yeah, oh, no kidding.
That would have been better. I would have loved
and don't forget, Stroud didn't play when the Browns crushed them.
That's true.
They put the back up. All right, keep going.
Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're going to need Hunter, to improve that defense from last season. I have them going 8-9, so I do have them winning some more games this year and showing some improvement in 25. But that's where I got them, guys. To win the division, this is a no-brainer in my opinion. It's the Houston Texans.
Good call.
They're expected to win their third straight division. C.J. Stroud is healthy this year.
Yeah.
And that's a plus because he was playing injured, guys. He had the shoulder injury. He didn't want to complain, but, yes, he did have the sophomore slump.
Yep.
And yes, things were rough for him. He lost receivers. I mean, it just...
O-line issues.
Yeah, there was O-line issues.
Yes.
I mean, he actually persevered through quite a lot. And I think the Texans, as long as they stay healthy, man, are they going to be tough this year, guys. I believe that, Joe Mixon is out. Now I hear that it may be up to 4 games. Right?
Yeah, they don't know. There's a guy at this table that likes him.
I love me some Joe Mixon, yes.
Well, you know what? Does that open the door for Nick Chubb? What do you think,
Yeah,
Steve?
that's what I got. I think Nick Chubb is going to have a big opportunity at running back, and I think he'll do well. I'm not saying it just because he's a Brown. Yes, he's lost a few steps. Yes, he's had some injuries. But this team is pretty loaded with receiver, and their defense is top 10. So I do think Chubb will have a great year for Houston to fill the void until Mixon comes back. When Mixon comes back, they got the 1-2 punch. Dameon Pierce, I'm not sure. He might be able to get some carries in between with Mixon out.
Might be a rotational guy.
Yep. Nico Collins and Christian Kirk, they're going to lead the way at receivers. Tank Dell's out with injuries. I mean, that's unfortunate.
He always has injuries.
I like Tank.
I like Dell, but he's had health
Dell.
problems. If you told me that Dell... See, last year when they had Diggs, Dell, and Collins, I thought that was going to be what Stroud had at Ohio State. Remember, he had loaded receivers at Ohio State. His first year he had Olave, Garrett Wilson, and Jackson Smith and Jigba, and he put up amazing numbers. I thought it was going to be like that offense at Ohio State with those 3 receivers last year, but those guys got hurt. Diggs got hurt. Dell got hurt. Collins only stays healthy.
Yeah, these guys, they got to stay healthy because the Texans could go far, if they could do that. The defense is a top 10. D'Amico Ryans, I think he's a good coach. I was suspect on him.
Underrated.
I like D'Amico.
Yeah, he's an underrated coach. Yeah. I didn't know. I knew he would be a great defensive coordinator, right? He was for the 49ers. But I didn't know that he could be as good as he is as a head coach.
Yeah.
And lead a team like this. I expect Will Anderson Jr.
Yeah, he's a stud.
To have a huge year at defensive end.
Yep.
And Daniel Hunter on the line, they should be very good there.
Yep.
Derek Stingley Jr. in the secondary, he's a top corner in the league.
Yep.
I have these guys going 12-5 and winning that division, guys. And they're looking good.
That record's a little bit of a reach.
That's a little rich for my blood. That's a little rich for my blood.
People were saying 10 or
that's a little rich. That's a little
I
rich.
like them at 12.
That's
they
a little
stay
rich.
Healthy.
Yeah.
10 or 11 maybe. I can see it that.
That's
All right, Steve. Well said there. All right, we're going to get into Mr. Dave Greenshield. All right, give us your thoughts on the AFC South.
Okay, I'm going to start with my fourth place team, and that's the Indianapolis Colts. What I like about this organization is really simple. I'm going to start with a running back I really like coming out of college, and that's Jonathan Taylor. He had the 1,431 yards last season. And he does it whoever the quarterback is. And the quarterback in this instance, with this quarterback situation, needs a good running game, and I think they will have it with Taylor. Indianapolis may be a home of the top left tackle guard pairing in the NFL. When you look at left guard and tackle, Colts have the 5th rated O-line according to PFF. I like Michael Pittman at wide receiver. He's very underrated, big body type receiver. Interested to see if he can get back to his 22 and 23 level of production. He can be an underrated number 1. Look out for Tyler Warren, who won the Mackey Award last year at tight end. I think he could be an impact rookie. Quarterbacks, younger quarterbacks also like tight ends.
He's the top tight end of the draft.
Yeah. And there was a debate last year between him and Harold Fannin. I thought you could have made a case that Fannin should have won the Mackey over Warren, but Warren is really, really good. The concerns are obvious. The quarterback situation. I haven't been a fan of Anthony Richardson since he came out of college, to be honest.
He's never been good, right, Steve?
I still like him. Don't give up on him. He didn't play that many games at Florida, guys.
Well, see, yeah.
And he's young, and that's why they're going to keep him.
You took the words right out of my mouth. They drafted a quarterback that had a very small sample size in college, and that's all.
And he went for the big body.
Right.
He went for the big body, the arm.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the talent.
He's got the big arm. He's got the running ability, but he's not shown enough growth. I mean, I just haven't seen.
He's got to stay on the field.
Not accurate.
Take me out, coach. He was like, "Take me out, coach."
Yeah,
like it was a high school
accuracy
game.
thing is kind of important, by the way.
No, he's not good enough. Period. Sorry, Steve.
I do want to mention Daniel Jones, who could maybe take that job from him. Now, his career 50.6 completion percentage isn't going to work. Wouldn't be surprised to see if both start this season. Then the defense, 24th in points allowed and 29th in overall defense. The pass rush produced only 36 sacks last year, tied for 25th in the NFL. They need more from DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart inside. That's the group that could generate a pass rush. We'll see if they can this season. In conclusion, I love the running game. I think the O-line is actually really solid. The defense, especially the pass defense, has some real questions in the secondary and with the pass rush. Not to mention the quarterback situation. I'm not crazy about it at all. I've got this team going 6-11. My number 3 team in the division is the Tennessee Titans. Mr. Number 1 pick, Cam Ward. He has looked good. He's shown some progress in the preseason. I know it's preseason, so I'm going to say that. Tony Pollard did finish last season with over 1,000 yards rushing as a solid running back for a 3rd year in a row, by the way, behind a shaky O-line, may I add. Tyler Lockett and Calvin Ridley could provide, a solid 1-2 punch. Lockett actually had 5 straight 100-catch seasons from 19 to 2023. I didn't realize that. Calvin Ridley, 3 straight 1,000-yard plus seasons. So 2 vet receivers to help a young quarterback could be really good. Draymond Jones and Jeffrey Simmons have been productive before. Can they do it again on the defensive line? My concerns, we still have a rookie quarterback. He'll make some good throws, and he's going to make some bad throws. I saw him doing it at Miami. He was risky with the football at times. I'm not crazy about the O-line. It has been good. It hasn't been good for the last 2 years. Our friends over at PFF have it ranked 24th.
They got a good offensive line coach, though, don't they?
They do.
Callahan?
But it comes down to Jimmy's and Joe's, Steve, and that's where they may be lacking. The defense made some changes, bringing in help within the front 7 and safety help, but they were 30th in points allowed last season, not to mention 26th in run defense. Not sure if the changes will help. The overall conclusion, this is a rookie quarterback with a questionable O-line. The Titans will have to deal with some inconsistent play. They really need the offseason moves to help this defense to make a major improvement. I got them going 6-11 as well. I think both teams are kind of tied for the cellar there in that division. The second place team in this division is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know we talked about that. I'm really excited about Travis Hunter. This guy has freakish-like ability, and I really feel him and rookie sensation Brian Thomas can form that dynamic duo that can really help out Trevor Lawrence. I still really feel like Travis Etienne can be a productive running back. He needs to improve from that 3.7 yards per carry last year. It wasn't good. As I say, that might have been more about their own line. The D-line has legit talent with Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen at the edge tandem. Also, veteran Eric Armstead. It's going to be interesting to see how many snaps Travis Hunter gets, by the way, at the corner position. That secondary was really lacking last year. Part of the reason that was one of the lower-rated defenses in the NFL. Concerns, well, do we ever get 2022 Trevor Lawrence back? This is what I mentioned earlier.
No, I don't think he's ever arrived, by the way.
I mean, by the way, that year, 4,100 yards passing.
I thought he was pretty good a few years ago, Brad.
Well, here's the numbers.
The numbers speak for themselves.
4,100 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, and only 8 picks. That's a really good year. And he led the
Doug
Jags.
Peterson.
That's right. He led the Jags to the division title and a playoff win. This was supposed to be their QB, and somewhere towards the end of that 23 season, as I mentioned, it all went away. They did have a bad offensive line in 24. Again, that's why I think the lack of production out of ATN in the running game. It was so bad they brought in 4 new offensive linemen. This could explain, again, the 3.7 yards a carry. The secondary needs help. It's going to be interesting to see how many snaps Hunter gets on that side of the ball. I would have the defense rank last in the NFL in takeaways, so it could help if he could maybe force some turnovers. The conclusion, they need Trevor Lawrence to get at least as close to 2022 level for this team to make really good improvement, and they also need a little bit better turn on the defensive side of the ball, particularly in that secondary. They have the weapons and the potential. Not sure about this O-line. I've got them going 8-9, and I was borderline 7-10 on that.
Yeah.
My first place team is the Houston Texans. I still really like C.J. Stroud, not just because he's a Buckeye and maybe the best Buckeye passing quarterback I've ever seen. You know, a case can be made.
Yes.
He had a bit of a sophomore slump. We all know that for various reasons, offensive line issues, wide receiver health, which we just talked about. Nico Collins is a true number one. He's combined for 208 catches the last 2 seasons. By the way, he missed 5 games last year too. I really like Will Anderson, the 2023 Defensive Rookie of the Year. He had 11 sacks last year. I think him and Daniil Hunter could form that run 2 pass rush combination. I also like the secondary. Kalen Bullock, working next to Gardner Johnson, gives the Texans one of the best safety duos in the NFL. You mentioned Stingley earlier. I think this is a really underrated secondary. I think this is a legit top 10 defense, by the way, Steve.
Absolutely.
So I do like that aspect. Here's the overall concern. The offensive line. It's just not good enough. The group is highly questionable. Again, our friends over at PFF, 32nd ranked offensive line coming into the season.
Whoa.
Dead last.
I thought they had some improvement. I guess not.
Well, they made some changes. They brought in some different personnel. They better hope it worked. To me, this was a major reason for the Stroud sophomore slump. The other concern is Joe Mixon, Brent's guy. The Texans GM says we're going to evaluate after 4 weeks. We're going to have to see. Because I was counting on Mixon to have a very good season for them. If you told me Mixon was healthy and the line was a little bit better,
Yeah.
I would buy Steve's prediction.
Do you like Nick
Yeah,
Chubb?
yeah.
But I don't know. Can he handle a heavy workload? I'm not sure.
No, he can't. He can't do it.
Well, that Damian Pierce might be able to help him.
They're going to platoon it. They're going to platoon it
until your boy Mixon can
until my
come
boy
back.
comes back. Yeah.
We'll see if Christian Kirk can step up at wide receiver with a Tank Dell injury, too. That's also a question. I believe in Stroud. He's going to bounce back. I love the defense. I'm not crazy about the offensive line, but the division's doable. Bottom line, they'll go 10-7, and they'll win the division.
All right, Dave, well said. We're going to get to our final division here, and that is the AFC West. And Steve, give us your season preview on the AFC West and wrap us up.
All right, boys, just to tell you, last place, I got the Raiders. Geno Smith left Seattle without a contract, and he landed with the Raiders, and he's reunited with Pete Carroll. So there's familiarity there.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
Ashton Jenney out of Boise State. He's expected to have a big year at running back. Genty is to Pete Carroll as Marshawn Lynch was with Pete Carroll in Seattle.
Well, that's an interesting
so
comparison.
expect a huge season out of Jenny. They're going to give him the ball a lot. Amari Cooper is back in town.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
That's Steve's boy.
it wasn't the best year for Amari Cooper last year, Steve.
he was good for the Browns, and then he goes to Buffalo, and
Yeah.
he didn't do a whole lot in Buffalo.
No.
I thought he was really going to help Josh Allen out.
I did too.
Yeah.
However, I mean, he's back with the team that drafted him, and where he had a lot of success. So he might be able to help Geno Smith out, because Geno's going to need help. I mean, I got him in last
You're not a
week for
fan.
reason.
You're not a fan of Geno, are you, Steve?
I'm not a big Geno guy.
Yeah, his
I
name's
still-
Geno too.
I still think I know I should like him. That's an Italian name.
There you
know?
go. We love some Geno.
But I think of like when he was a.
Steve, I think you should like Gino more.
Yeah,
Like if he was going to come on the podcast, would you be nice to him?
Come on now.
I still think of his Jets days.
Would you give him a
Uh,
quarter of iced tea?
Yeah, I know.
Amari Cooper, he pairs with Jacoby Myers,
Yeah.
so they do have a decent, so subpar receivers. Brock Bowers, I mean, he's an awesome tight end.
On his way to being the best tight end in the NFL.
Yeah, he
soon
could
enough.
very well be the best tight end
Yep.
in the NFL.
Yeah.
The defense it's looking to improve. It's led by Max Crosby, who's one of the best in the business, as we know. Here's the deal, though, guys. Pete Carroll is a culture changer, though.
Yeah.
And he can build. Here's the problem: the division is just too tough. I don't believe in Geno, and I'm sorry, I don't believe in Pete, and for that reason,
I like Pete.
I got him going 6-11, guys.
Okay.
So I mean, it could have been even less wins, but I got him with 6. So that's being nice. To finish third place in the division, I got the Denver Broncos.
Wow.
You know this.
Wow.
I don't
Really?
Yeah. This is a shocker.
Yes, it is.
Everyone picks Denver to make the playoffs and be spectacular again. And,
Jeez.
and remember, I do like Sean Payton, as I've told you
We
guys.
may get
in
into
the past.
things right now, Steve.
We
You like
could.
Sean Payton, but
Yeah,
not
we're-
really.
We're going to get into things. Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, okay,
Lay out
okay.
your
Yeah,
case.
I'm on your
Yeah.
side, Dave. I can't believe he's got him at
Yeah.
number 3.
This is our first shocker.
Wow.
Go
Keep
ahead.
going.
Yeah, this is a shocker.
Go
guys.
ahead, make your case. Why are they the
Well,
third?
I think Bo Nix is going to go through that all famous sophomore slump. He overachieved last year.
No.
I just can't see him. I'm aware that Denver has an awesome defense.
Yeah.
Pat Surtain, Defensive Player of the Year.
Right.
And I know it's a top 10 D, but I just don't think Nix is going to have the year that he had last year. I mean, this is my opinion. I think he overachieved.
Okay.
I think that
You don't think they've put pretty good talent around him? Run game, O-line, Cortland Sutton at receiver.
yeah, Cortland Sutton.
I mean, you've given
solid
him a.
receiver.
Well, I don't think he carried them that much last year.
No,
he did enough.
He did enough. Well,
It was-
he threw, I think, upper 20s in touchdowns. I've got the numbers here. I mean,
I
I thought he.
25.
Yeah, right. And he played really well.
They had a balanced attack.
Yeah.
You
balance
think he could beat
Exactly.
that, though? I don't know if he beat.
He didn't really do all. I don't think he did anything
I think-
that high.
I think if he plays at that level with
Yeah.
that defense and a better running game, I don't see how this team gets worse, Steve.
I agree. 100%.
And again, Sean Payton, as you know, he's
Okay.
one of my top coaches. I really believe in that sophomore slump
Okay.
thing. I really do. I just don't think
Wow.
Nix can do it. I just don't think he can do it.
I'm
guys.
shocked.
So that's why I got him in third place,
What
and,
do you got him
I
going?
got him going 9-8.
Wow.
They go back to reality in 25. 24 was an overachieving season.
Okay.
Uh,
All on Bo Nix regression. Okay.
So this is a shocker to everyone. I got the Chargers second place, not third.
Okay.
I in fact got it. I think Justin Herbert. He hasn't learned how to win playoff games. I know Brent's not high on Mr. Herbert. I know he hasn't won playoff games, but
He's a fraud.
He's a fraud.
I had a lot of questions coming
It
out
just
of
is.
Oregon. Out of Oregon, either Oregon or Oregon. But you know what, though? He's playing at a high level, Brent. I mean, but you can say the playoffs is where
He just
it's-
can't get it done.
Okay.
He
Well,
keeps
guys,
choking.
I mean, some
It's just
people are picking him over Jalen Hurts,
Yeah.
his overall quarterbacks.
Trevor Lawrence is also another fraud, and
Okay.
even he beat him. There's one fraud against another fraud.
A fraud against a fraud.
I really, these guys are just so overrated. But keep going.
And I'll tell you the reason I got the Chargers finishing second. They got Jim Harbaugh. Now I know Dave. I know you're probably not a big.
No, he is a really good coach.
Good coach.
He's a dirty coach, but he's a dirty, really good coach.
A dirty, really good coach.
And he can change culture. He can. He can help.
I mean, they change instantly. I mean, whether he's coach at college, he's a coach.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
He'll be gone in 4 years, but that's not right.
But he'll win some games, and he'll get out and he'll go to the next place.
I mean, guys, they made the playoffs last year. That's telling something. I mean, with the other fella. Brandon, Staley, yes, Staley. They would have had a losing season. Harbaugh turns them around immediately.
That was the downfall to me of that Chargers team was him, not Herbert. By the way,
so this is why
a little bit of both in my mind. I'm going to go combo.
This is why I'm going to try to sell you on the Chargers.
Go ahead,
boys. Omarion Hampton. I know you
like
him at running
Omarion
back.
Hampton. Yes.
Him and Najee Harris will share the carries.
Yes.
Harris. I believe he has some kind of injury, but I think he'll be okay. So that should be a nice 1-2 punch. Keenan Allen, he's a solid receiver. Expect a lot of balls to go his way. They were always known for the passing game, right? As you know, Herbert's always thrown for all these fantasy numbers. I mean, big yards, all these years. I mean, unbelievable. But I think this running game is going to be strong. So the addition of Jim Harbaugh and the running game is what puts this team over the top.
Okay.
And that's how I got him going ahead of Denver, in case anyone wondered, because I know no one across the NFL is saying this, but you got to believe me on this, or at least I'm going to.
Denver's got a better squad overall.
I'm going to give you guys a reason to. I'm going to give you guys a reason to believe.
Okay.
The running game's going to be strong in Harbaugh combination. So Herbert will not have to. He's always had to do too much, Brent. So now he's not going to have to do quite as much. In this defense, don't forget, it's still led. I know they're old. I know they could be going in wheelchairs, but they're led by.
Bosa's gone.
Yeah, Bosa is gone.
Yeah.
But they're still led by Khalil Mack. I still like Mack.
Yes.
Even though he's getting older, and I like Derwin James Jr. in the secondary. I think those guys are solid.
Okay.
Harbaugh knows how to turn things around.
Okay.
Guys, at any rate, I got them going 10-7 and 25.
Okay.
All right.
And
first place.
And first place, boys. I got the Kansas City Chiefs. To me, this is a no-brainer.
Good call.
I've heard some analysts say that they could drop to second or third. I think that's crazy. What are they smoking? What are they on? Are they nuts? Are they not aware that they got the GOAT coach, Andy Reid? They got the GOAT quarterback, Patrick Mahomes?
Is there more to a roster than an NFL quarterback?
Not really. I would say the trenches.
Yeah.
The trenches on both sides and the QB are bigger than anything.
So if quarterback
and the fourth thing would be the kicker.
Yeah, if quarterback is one, then what's your number two most important thing on an NFL team?
Would probably be the interior lineman.
Which one? The O-line or the D-line?
The D-line.
Okay.
I think
so.
so.
What would be your second most important thing after a quarterback, Steve?
After a quarterback? I'd say your offensive line's pretty important.
I would say it's your D-line. I would say it's your D-line. I think your O-line only needs to be about decent.
Because if you got a good quarterback, guess what happens?
Right.
They get the ball out quick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my point.
You
were saying about the Chiefs?
Keep going.
Yes. So Travis Kelce, I mean,
what's he doing in the offseason, Steve?
I think he likes a girl named Taylor Swift, and
yes,
he's a Swiftie. I mean, they might be getting married. I mean, can he focus on the season?
Can he?
A lot of people. I don't know if I could. Could you guys? I mean, if you're going out with that girl,
I watched that Super Bowl. He looked old. He looked old.
He regressed. He did.
He looked old.
He is getting old, and remember, he's a Cleveland guy, so.
Okay.
But I mean,
retirement is in his future.
H comes for Cleveland guys, Barberton guys, all kinds of guys.
And I think that with the success of the podcast, the New Heights podcast, he ain't going to need to play football. He'll ride that podcast out and he'll have a broadcasting career. I don't see much more of a future for Travis Kelce. Continue, Steve.
Yeah. So anyway, guys. Receiver, there's always different receivers coming through the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Receiver Rashee Rice, he's out on suspension, so that could hurt a little bit for the Chiefs. They're expecting a lot of Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy. They need those guys to step it up. Mahomes always seems to make it happen. I mean, he proved that he could play without Tyreek Hill. Then a couple years ago, they had guys dropping the ball, but later in the season, they're magical, just like they always are every year. And that's why Mr. Mahomes is the number one quarterback in the whole league.
Yeah.
Reid is the top coach. They make things happen towards the end. They played close games last year.
Without tipping my hand, do you know that team won a lot of close games last year?
Yes.
Do you know that door swings
They
both ways?
were 15-2, but they could have lost 3 or 4 more.
The NFL
Easily.
gods don't always smile upon you, Steve. That's what I'm saying.
I think Coach Spags is a pretty good coach on the defensive side, and as you were saying,
Spags.
Oh yes, great
Dave,
defensive coordinator.
as you were saying,
yes,
you need a good defensive line, and Chris Jones is just the man for that.
Yeah.
You won't see any decline out of him. He leads the way on that defense. I have the Chiefs going 13-4,
Okay.
so they were 15-2 last year. They're going to show what you said, Dave. They could lose a few more games. But I don't think it's many more.
Okay.
So 13-4 is what I'm going with, fellas.
Very well said, Steve. Dave, let's wrap it up here for episode 1, part 1 of Extravaganza. Please give us the AFC West predictions and conclusions.
Well, let's get into disagreement. I'm going to start with the 4th place team in the AFC West. And, I agree with Steve on this, and it's the Las Vegas Raiders. What I really like are the upgrades in the coaching. I like Pete Carroll. I actually like Chip Kelly running this offense. The offense should cater well to rookie sensation Ashton Genty. I expect him to get a solid workload in 2025. I'm going to talk about that later. I love Brock Bowers. I think he was one of the best college tight ends ever, and I think it's a matter of time before he's the best tight end in the NFL. He's off to a great start. 112 catches for nearly 1,200 yards last year at tight end. With that awful quarterback situation of O'Connell and Minshew, by the way.
O'Connell?
Yeah, you say Geno Smith is bad, Steve. How bad were those guys? Because I think they'll be working at Retcher's Laconis soon, by the way. You might need a short order
I
cook
can use a
or
cook.
something.
I
Yeah,
can
there
use
you
a
go.
cook, Dave.
I still really love
Part-time.
Max Crosby. To me, when he's healthy, he's a top 5 edge. His numbers were down in 24. He was hurt, from 14.5 to 7.5. He did miss the 5 games. I actually think, again, Geno is an upgrade over Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. Is that fair, Steve?
Oh, yeah. He's
100%.
He's definitely an upgrade, but those guys were pretty bad.
Well, okay. Yeah, maybe it's like being named valedictorian of summer school. It doesn't carry with it a lot of merit, but it's still an upgrade.
And Geno did have some success at Seattle.
A few years ago, though, before Geno had success in Seattle, you would have said Minshew's probably a better quarterback.
Yes. Yeah, well, by the way, I have some concerns here. The defense, this is a group that needs to stay healthy. They need 17 games or at least 16 games out of Crosby. Also, opposite pass rusher, Malcolm Kuntz needs to stay healthy and be productive. This would help improve a defense that averaged giving up 25.5 points in the NFL last year, 26th overall. The wide receiver group is where I've got some serious questions. An aged Amari Cooper who looked bad with the Browns. I mean, he had no chemistry with Watson early in that season. Steve, he was dropping balls. He looked terrible.
That's right, he was dropping balls.
And he brought nothing to Josh Allen in Buffalo. He went from 7.
He was good with Mr. Flacco.
Well, I mean, the numbers are the numbers. He went from 72 receptions for 1,200 yards and 23 to 44 catches to 547 yards last year. That's a dip.
That's a decline.
Yeah. The other question is the continued growth of the offensive line. Can right tackle, center, can it show some growth this next year? That's going to be the key to this team and Genty having that really nice rookie year. My conclusion is the improved running game with Genty, continued growth of the line, just get slightly improved quarterback play out of Geno Smith, and the health of both defensive ends, as I mentioned earlier. I've got them going 7-10, but there's a world they could go 8-9. I'll stick with 7-10. The 3rd place team that I have in this division is the Los Angeles Chargers. What I do like Justin Herbert a lot more than Brent Keaton, but I think a lot of people like Justin Herbert more than Brent Keaton. Yes. He has combined for 69 touchdown passes the last 2 seasons. What would you just say, Brent? He's a good regular season quarterback, and that's about it?
Yeah, that's about it. And I do think, though, he was better in his earlier years, but as film caught up, I think people are onto him. And
his passing yards are astronomical.
But
he's a
fantasy. Maybe he's just
a fantasy, and he's beating up the. He's good at beating up the bums.
Okay.
He's not good at beating the tough guys.
You call him the Dak Prescott of the AFC.
Yeah, he's a Dak. I don't care about his yards.
Okay.
He's a fraud, and you know what the film shows.
He's
He
not
doesn't.
a fraud, babe.
He just
I
let me know when he beats Trevor Lawrence in the first round, and we'll talk, Steve, because he keeps getting his ass kicked.
Oh, they got a new head coach, so
you know.
all right.
now they're going to be able to do it, Brent.
They woke up the giant here, you know.
Brent Keaton going.
I know.
Brent is awoke, babe.
Oh my God! I mean, this guy. Continue, Dave. All right.
I really like the secondary. The number 2 pass ranking in PFF pass coverage grade. One of the best safeties in the NFL. If he stays healthy, Derwin James has had a lot of injuries. But if he stays healthy, he's right up there. Hamilton, Branch, one of the better safeties in football. Henley at linebacker and edge rusher. They've got a good group of key contributors there in year number 2. Henley ranked top 10 in NFL tackles in the NFL in tackles last year with 147. So I think they're really solid defensively. I do wonder if they'll miss Bose on the defensive line, although I said Bose has been better as a pass rusher earlier in his career. He might be towards the downside. I do love Khalil Mack. You know, I think he still is a guy that can get after the quarterback as well. I'm with you, Steve. I like Omarion Hampton. Over 3,000 yards the last 2 seasons in college. He should have a bigger role in the Harbaugh offense. Harbaugh does want to run the football. I get it. I do have some concerns, and here they are. The injury to Slater at tackle, who I think is one of the best tackles in football, could be a loss. The question is, can Trey Pipkins take over at tackle? It's a tall task, replacing an all-pro tackle. I do like Joe Alt at the other tackle position. My other large concern here, and I know Herbert's put up the numbers, I don't like this wide receiver crew. It's lacking. They lack depth, and they lack a true alpha. I mean, when Ladd McConkey is your number 1 wide receiver, you need to find a better number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
I thought that Quentin Johnson would show up in 2024. I just don't think the 55 catches and 711 yards receiving really moved the needle. I feel like a 33-year-old Keenan Allen is in decline as well, real decline. You can see his production really dropped off. My conclusion is I like Herbert. I think it's going to be interesting to see how much of a role the running game has, how much they miss Slater on the offensive line, and can they find a true alpha at the number 1 receiver. I really like the defense. I like the quarterback play. They'll go 10-7. That's where I've got them. All right, let's get to disagreement. And I'm going to start with my number 2 team. It's Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
I know.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
Well, okay. I like what they call talent on a roster.
Ready to hear this?
I like.
We're heating up.
I like what they call talent on a roster, and the talent on this roster has been in decline. Now, they have the standard at quarterback in Patrick Mahomes, but if you've seen his statistical numbers the last 2 years, they've been terrible. Really.
In the regular season, he's dipped.
Yeah, his 22 and 23.
A lot of it has to do with drops. A lot of drops.
Well, and his wide receiver crew isn't great.
Yep,
but you know what?
great.
People tell me he didn't have a great wide receiver crew in 2022. And it wasn't, you know what I mean? And he had better numbers in 22 than he did in 21.
But Reed always comes up with a game plan in the playoffs that makes him successful.
I hear you.
So let's keep that in mind.
And I agree. If I need one quarterback to win a big game right now, the track record is take Patrick Mahomes. I get it. The track record backs it up. They still have the best coach in the NFL, in my view. I wonder how much longer he's going to be doing that. We've talked about that in the past, Brent. The concern is that Reed might not be long for this
He's
job.
going to step down at some point.
Chris Jones
next 5 years
is still one of the best defensive tackles. I actually thought there for a period of time after Aaron Donald retired, he might have been the best defensive tackle in football. George Karlaftis inside is really good as well. They combined for 48 quarterback hits last season. I really like Bolton at linebacker. The 3 corners last year, they signed Trent McDuffie with Fulton, McDuffie, and Watson. Could be a really good group. I think they're going to have a top 10 defense. I get it. Here are the concerns. I think eventually the pass catchers catch up with them. I mean, it's just bottom line.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce isn't getting any old. By the way, I heard he got engaged in the offseason. That was like a thing. The production was really down in 24. He only averaged 8.5 yards a catch. I thought he looked old in that Super Bowl. By the way, this is going to be his last season. Is there an agreement?
No, I don't agree with that.
How many more seasons?
Two or 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's done.
Okay. You're making a case for that podcast money coming in.
And I believe I've said this before. Dave, I believe I've said this before, but the Rocky is a movie, but it also can relate to real life.
Oh,
at least
here
in
we
my
go.
opinion. Brent may agree.
Yo, Adrian.
What did I say?
You're not supposed to be messing around with the. Remember what Mick said? It messes up the legs. I remember when he
Okay.
told Rocky, so he can't move, and if he's out with this lady.
Yeah, Tristan
he slips all
Thompson. Remember the
time.
Tristan Thompson effect
Tristan
with the
Thompson
Kardashian? Remember
didn't
that?
do well
Wow.
with
Yeah, once he
Kardashian.
had the girlfriend.
I mean, once you have that,
Yeah,
you're in
you lose
decline.
your-
Even if you're
you
young,
lose
you're in
your-
decline.
I just
They
heard-
say you lose your edge.
Okay.
Yeah, yes,
Because
yes.
and we all know why that is.
In
I don't want to get
focus.
into it.
I-
TMI. I don't know.
I didn't expect to hear Rocky, Tristan
Yeah.
Thompson, or a Kardashian on this
In the
episode.
I know. All right.
Yeah, the wide receiver crew's not looking any better. Hollywood Brown missed a lot of 24. They could be looking at a situation with Rashee Rice, who could face a suspension from his March 2024 hit-and-run crash in Dallas. He suffered a season-ending knee injury last season in Week 4. They still have Xavier Worthy, who's a speedster. I think Juju is not the same receiver he was early in his career. It'll be interesting to see if a true number one emerges. The offensive line could still be a concern here. They drafted Josh Simmons and Jalen Moore. Gone is Tooney, who they shipped out. I'm wondering how good of an offensive line
They need
this
those
is.
linemen to work because the Eagles were all over him in the Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
that's
why it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Mahomes didn't have a chance.
And I think there's some pass rushers in this division who could get after Mahomes. That's a concern, that offensive line.
Yep.
The conclusion is this. They still have the coach, they still have the quarterback, and I like the defense. But eventually this supporting cast around Patrick Mahomes is going to catch up to him. You know what? It eventually caught up to Tom Brady. In 2019, it caught up to Tom Brady. In 2018, he got the last good year out of Julian Edelman, the last good year out of Gronk. Gronk retired, and Tom Brady's 2019 was terrible. Now, that had a lot to do with his supporting cast being bad. What happened when he went to Tampa and he got a better supporting cast? What did he do in 2020? He won a Super Bowl. Eventually, supporting casts catch up with you, and rosters catch up with you.
Yeah.
This is an offensive roster around Patrick Mahomes that's in decline. That being said, I like the quarterback. I like the defense. I think they're going to find their way to 11-6. They're not going to win 13 games, Steve. They won a lot of close games last year, by the way.
They did.
And the number one pick.
The Denver Broncos.
Oh! I got him at third. You got him at first.
Well, this is where disagreement comes
Let's hear it,
comes
Dave.
to the party, Steve. Bo Nix is a lot better than I thought he was going to be, and that was a tribute to his coach. Sean Payton is I believe
a good combo.
You got Reed, you got McVay. He's right in that tier. He's got a Super Bowl ring to prove it, by the way.
He
folks.
does?
So he posted 29 touchdown passes, 12 interceptions, which is a really good rookie year. They're also putting the talent around him. The offensive line last year is really good. Over 90 grade according to PFF in pass blocking efficiency, allowing only 110 pressures on 677 snaps. I really like Cortland Sutton. 81 catches for nearly 1,100 yards last year. I think he's a solid number one. J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey could be a very underrated backfield. Not a lot of people are talking about Harvey, but that could be a good 1-2 punch. I think Dobbins, who's had injury problems, needs another running back to rotate in
Dobbins
with
is
him.
always hurt, man.
Yeah, but I think Harvey and him will split carries. That'll help him. Plus, the offensive line, I think he's running behind, is top notch. The defense is really good. The defensive player of the year, Patrick Surtain, watch out for him. All-pro edge rusher Nick Benito, I think was going to be a candidate for defensive player of the year, one of the under-radar candidates for defensive player of the year. There are still some concerns. Again, I have to still see it from Bo Nix. I get your opinion. But I think they've put him into a good situation, much like, Hurts got put into a really good situation in Philadelphia. Much like we talk about Goff being put into a good
He's
situation.
no Jalen Hurts, though. But no.
Jalen Hurts had a lot of bad games. And Jalen Hurts, by the way, in 2023, at times did not look good, by the way. But you give him a 2,000-yard running back, you give him the best offensive line in football, and those things kind of help.
That's why I think Dave's getting it. They got
Well, he almost beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl without Barkley. So I disagree a little bit.
Well,
that's
but he still had the best offensive
conversation.
line in 2022. They still had the Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown combination at wide receiver. He wasn't in a clunker, even in 2022, Steve.
Yeah.
So he still had a lot of talent around him. So, the other concern that I have about this team is, can they really find a number 2 wide receiver? I do think they need to find a number 2 wide receiver. Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims, I don't know. Dobbins' health is a concern. I will point that out, Steve. But again, I think with Harvey there to kind of go 1-2 punch, I think it's going to help. I like a lot of this team, as you can tell. Even though I still have my doubts, with the supporting cast and the coach, I've got the Denver Broncos going 12-5.
Wow.
All right.
Well
said, Dave. All right, guys, that wraps up part 1 of the Extravaganza. We will be back after an intermission. We'll get we'll get into part 2, and we look forward to that. Guys, any final thoughts on part 1?
Well, I enjoyed it. Me and Steve finally had a little bit of disagreement.
A little bit of debate.
It's
always good, guys.
We're here for debate. Yes,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, Steve. What are your thoughts?
I agree. I loved how, our Chargers and Broncos.
Yeah.
That was huge there.
Yeah.
It's been fun so far, Brent.
I got a little fired up there, and
We were glad to wake you up, man.
you woke me up a little bit. You woke up the giant, and I definitely had fun as well. I look forward to part 2, guys. Take care, and we'll be back for part 2. Take care.